Welcome to the Nonprofit Solutions Matter Daily radio show, where we tackle the tough issues that keep founders up at night and answer your questions on everything from fundraising and board recruitment to marketing and resource development. If you're looking to start a nonprofit, raise money, organize your board, reactivate your organization, or chat about your mission, text the number on the screen to book a free call. We're happy to provide clarity and connect you with the resources and tools to help you move forward. Now, let's jump into today's program. Stay tuned as our Vice President dissects today's topic. Feel free to ask questions by dropping your comment below. Let's get started.
Good morning, beautiful people. Sometime last week, I was talking to a nonprofit founder, and she asked, how do I identify corporate sponsors to reach out? I get the gist about corporate funding. I know it's a very good way to raise money. I know it's a way to raise unrestricted funding. But how do I even find the corporate funders to reach out to? How do I even identify them? So today I decided to come on here because I want to give an answer to that. As one who's been in the corporate funding space for some time, we have specific strategies we use to identify who the corporate funders for specific organizations are. The truth is, not every business out there is going to sponsor you. You already know that. Then how do you find those who are going to sponsor you? And then so you can be able to tailor your message, so you can be able to, really get to them. Because the more specific you are, the more success you can actually get in this field of fundraising. So today I'm going to walk you through some 10 to 12 steps I use to find corporate sponsors for organizations. And then I believe if you tap into this today, you can begin to find sponsors and funders that you can begin to reach out to raise money for your organization. So the very first is mission alignment. So we want to look into your mission. What is your mission and who aligns with your mission, right? I think you already know this. So really, but I think this is like the list of all the ways to identify corporate funders because everybody knows this. Everybody's trying to look at who's actually in my space, who's actually within my mission line, my mission space that I can reach out to raise funding. And this is based on the premise of really goodwill most times if you observe that from. But of course, there are more ways to find corporate funders. The second would be program alignment. Why I'm specifically saying program alignment, differentiating it from mission alignment, is because program alignment is, or I'll put it this way, you could have a program that involves other sectors that is entirely different from your mission. So for example, an organization with a mission to empower young children or school children in area of STEM education, they may have a program that involves tech. So maybe coding or something within the organization. That program gives them access to tech funding, reaching out to tech organizations to get funding. So you see that if you rely solely on the mission, of course, you may miss out on what's on the program. So program alignment is also key to identify who are the prospective corporate sponsors for our organization. The third would be community or location alignment. So I would really say this is because, for example, you're in Chicago and your organization is doing basically well in Chicago. You could also find brands who are in Chicago and willing to sponsor. And then, of course, there's also this idea within the corporate funding space that non-profits, corporate fund organizations that are as big as they are. So, for example, if you're a national organization, you usually get funding from national, corporations, and then states and local wise. But I really don't think that's entirely true. You could really reach and then get opportunities from anywhere. Apart from community and location alignment, there's also the benefits or the values you look to provide these corporate funders and partners you're looking to bring in. So, for example, if one of the values you're looking to provide is, say, marketing and exposure opportunity, say, for example, exposure, and then you're exposing them to a particular group of people. So For example, if one of the benefits you're looking to provide partners is to expose them, say for example, an organization in Chicago, so people in Chicago, that of course is a huge value to companies who are also looking to get exposure to to people of Chicago, right? So what that means is if you have a specific benefit that stands out in your organization that you can provide these corporate funders, right? The reverse strategy is to look at these benefits, these values, and say which companies, which corporations would really be interested in these values and these benefits, and then begin to reach out to them. So another way to also find these corporations are the businesses you shop from, right, or services you use, companies you use their services. This is really quite important because if you're a loyal customer to some brands, to some companies, you're sort of like a priority to them, and they could use you as a case study on how they empower the, organizations and customers they work with. So if you have these brands you're loyal to and you have a good history with, these are also a good set of people you can reach out to, even though they are not within your mission space. Another way you could also find some of these companies is through a Google search. Now, there's different ways we do it, but the real strategy is using keywords. So, for example, you say we're looking for corporate funding or corporate social responsibility funding for non-profits in Chicago, and then you put that under a quote, or you're looking for um, business funding, not just find your keywords, where your organization is, your mission, what you do, and the kind of companies you're looking to reach out to. Just use that search on Google. You always have these results pop up that are across the web because Google has access to all this information across the web. So when you search that way using a quote, and then putting in keywords, it easily pops out information that are around that space for you, and then you can sift through that information to find out companies who are actually providing funding in that space. It could be corporate funding for non-profits in the healthcare space in Chicago, right? And then you put that under a quote. It's also a good way to find grants as well, right? Grants for education-based non-profits in Tennessee. Put down that quote, you begin to see information pop up. The another way you could also find corporate funders, identify or find corporate funders are through your board member circle of influence. So if you know how to harness your board member circle of influence, you can be able to get to talk to them, or introduce you to their network of companies, network of businesses they know. The truth is, your board members are quite connected. Some of them are business owners, some worked in businesses, some are executives in businesses, some have friends who own businesses, some family members own businesses. So somehow they have their own circle of influence, right? And if you really know how to tap into this circle of influence, your board members can be a huge source of corporate funders for your organization. Another key strategy is policy alignment. This is more like I would say, a factor we use to score corporate funding off the corporate funders off the list. Because policy alignment is really around political support, abortion, gun laws, and some of these brands who promote these different policies are quite really very heavy on forcing these policies on people they partner with. So if you're against abortion, or you're for abortion, or you're against you know, um, gun use, or have a political, you don't want to share a political view, or you have to be able to really use that to sieve your list, so that you're ensuring that brands you partner with have the same policy, they have the same mindset as yours. Another way you could find identify corporate funders is through businesses who sponsor other non-profits. So if you look around your community, you look around the non-profit network, look out for businesses already sponsoring non-profits, already sponsoring charities across your industry. That is one way to also find these non-profits. One, you could reach out directly to these businesses who are already funding, or two, you could reach out to their competitors to say, this is what's happening. They also have to take advantage of the space. You could be a fine way to also help them through that process. Yeah. Another key way again is known community givers. This is very much like the last point I just talked about. Known community givers, people who are known to give within the community, who are always supporting within the community. These are also fine people to look out for when identifying corporate funders. Then again, grants databases, grant.gov, some of these different databases also put out corporate funding opportunities. Usually these big corporate funding opportunities, you want to look out for these databases, right? There are brands that all they do is just sit on these databases every day, harnessing, identifying opportunities and applying for them. So you don't want to sit on the fence on this. And truly, these are how they become successful. This is how they get to sell their services to you. So you could also do it. You could find a virtual assistant. You could find people to go on that, or you could do it yourself. Be on there, find these opportunities, and apply for them the very moment they come out. Another way to find and identify corporate funders is through your local business network, usually your chambers of commerces. If you reach out to them, you would always get information on companies that are already sponsoring, and also you can also ask for ask to be introduced if you're really well grounded within your space. So here you have it, different ways to identify and find corporate funders for your nonprofit. What I would say is, when you find these companies, it's very easy and straightforward. Go straight to their corporate social responsibility department if they have one. Apply for whatever funding they have available, making sure you put together a good case study, a good reason that they should fund you. Of course, like I said earlier, you must identify the values and benefits they provide. That's where you can have a more stronger case than others. And another strategy is also to identify the executive of these companies, right? CEO, the corporate social responsibility director, the partnership director, the business manager. Identify who they are within the company and reach out to them through LinkedIn, build a network, build that relationship and invite them in for a chat. That way you can build a trust that will lead to, a funding partnership. So, of course, until I come on here to talk to you again, this is really my way of helping you win. I want to see you raise money. I want to see you grow. Please start taking action and do not sit on this vital information. Until I see you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Nonprofit Solutions Matter Daily radio show. We hope today's insights have been valuable in helping you tackle the challenges and opportunities within the nonprofit sector. We're here to support you in starting, raising funds for, and growing your nonprofit. If you have any questions or need further assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. You can send us an email to book a free discovery call, or simply comment below, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We look forward to hearing from you and helping your organization thrive. Until next time, keep making an impact.